Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa. I wanted to jump on and share a conversation with y'all about starting a small business. This is a conversation I've been having for years, but more recently, I've been sharing this conversation with good friends of mine, co-workers, colleagues in the business space. Going into the new year, I know a lot of y'all might have resolutions around launching a business, growing a business, and you might feel stuck. And I'm here to share something that I think might help you get unstuck in your plans for your business in the new year. It all starts with this framework. This framework is important to me. I was using this when I was working on my doctorate in industrial and organizational psychology. And I fell upon this kind of by accident, but it stuck with me because this was a theory about entrepreneurship that was backed by real world success. The individual who started this or created this theory is a woman named Sarasvathy. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. But it came about after she, in the early 2000s, had researched a number of these expert entrepreneurs, as she calls them, about how they go about starting successful ventures. And what she found was they all go about it the same. Didn't matter where they were in the world, their economic background, if they were millionaires or if they were broke. They all went about it the same to reach success. And so this, again, has been the framework that has stuck with me in how we approach business at Campfire and just in general. So it's called effectual entrepreneurship. You can look it up. There's a whole website, effectuation.org. I would highly recommend you tap into it. But what is really critical about this theory is that it flies in the face of everything you probably think you know about starting a business. And I don't say that as like internet rage speak or they have something they don't want you to know. It's not that. It's just that we've been taught more about how to manage business that's already established and successful than we have about how to start business, especially in times of uncertainty, which all of us are currently in. So the long and short of effectual entrepreneurship says, okay, what can I control today? What do I bring to the table today? And how can that get me closer to my big goal tomorrow? It does not say, let me write a 50-page business plan, figure out how much all this is going to cost, and then start going door to door to banks and rich uncles and cousins and asking for money. Because that doesn't work. And a lot of us, even if you do have a rich uncle or cousin or dad or mom or whoever, that might not be somebody you want to even be tied to. Now, if you do legit have that, you might want to keep that person in your side pocket because they could come in handy. Because this is about using what you have available to you right now, right? It's about using the resources you have available to you to get you to the next step. It's not about trying to work to the impossible goal. So how does this look in action, right? You have to determine what it is you're willing to lose, not how much you're willing to spend. How much are you willing to lose? You might not have any money to lose or any money to leverage, but you might have more time. So you have to make a decision right then and there that you are going to take the time that it's going to take to get the thing done. How this looked with Campfire was we didn't have any money. Like, when I say we didn't have any money, I mean we didn't have any money. But what we ended up doing was taking all the time that it took to scour OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, classified ads, and finding used cafe equipment for the amount of money that we could afford. That Market Street store that we got open, we got all of that equipment in there for less than 10 grand. And a good deal of that equipment is still in operation today, going on 6 years later. We did not say, hey, we need to go and get the the $30,000 Slayer espresso machine because quality is so important. No. That's not what we did. We got what we could get to get the thing going. And the chips will fall where they may. Okay? The next thing you do in this whole kind of like taking inventory of what you have available to you, you got to really start with what you bring to the table. What was dope about Campfire is Whitney and I, as a couple, we complement each other with our skill sets. I came in with a background in marketing, some graphic design work, heavy on the brand side. So I knew how to create those things because I'd done it for work for years. Whitney comes with this military upbringing, military background, which brings order, reason to your decision making, some logic and some clarity. So to where I was on the dreamer side of things, she's on the pragmatic realist side of things, and together those things can make something happen, right? Like I was really good with Photoshop, and I had a copy of Adobe Creative Suite, right? So, that's an expensive thing that a traditional person would say, hey, let me go ahead and find a brand strategist that's going to cost me $50,000 I don't have, right? We started with what was real to us. So the next thing that you want to do in utilizing effectual entrepreneurship, right? Now that you have an inventory of what you bring to the table, you're able to be resourceful in terms of your time or your money, because maybe you have more money than time and you can afford to go and get this thing and that thing. Great. That's awesome. Then it's, okay, who do I know? You got to tap into your network of people you know to fill the gaps where you don't necessarily have an expertise or you have a real weakness. For us, it was construction of the shop. Now, we didn't go into it knowing that we would need that, right? We went into building out Market Street with this idea that, there's a tenant improvement budget. We'll go out, we'll hire the subs, they'll get the job done. What we didn't know was subs can be shady. But what we ended up finding out is our really good friends were actually good with construction. Another thing that we didn't bring to the table was experience in coffee. And lo and behold, I had a friend that actually managed a coffee shop. And so even though Whitney and I had this love for what eventually became our brand of getting outside and camping and doing all the outdoor stuff and having coffee around the campfire, I actually couldn't make a latte. But thankfully, we had a friend that allowed me to come and work and train under her for several months to get that skill set in our wheelhouse. So that way, when we did start Campfire and we got the doors open, we knew what the hell we were doing. So again, effectual entrepreneurship, and when we say effectual entrepreneurship, what we say is proven success in entrepreneurship does not come from this traditional idea of business plan, loan, very strict structure. No, it comes from being scrappy. It comes from being resilient. It comes from having a clear understanding of what you want to do and what it's going to take to get it done, and then acting on that thing every single day. Every single moment you have, do what you have to do to get this vision off the ground. But you got to be clear about it, and you got to be intentional about it. And that is my word for the day, folks. I hope you enjoy the holiday season. If you have more questions about effectual entrepreneurship, again, that website is effectuation.org, or use Google Scholar and type in effectuation. You will see a ton of peer-reviewed articles pop up talking about how this is used in the real world with entrepreneurs across the globe. And it is fascinating. So tap in, get you some knowledge, apply it to your vision, and we'll see you in 2026.